Here we are in Drive, in my Google Drive, and we're going to look at creating a new document in Google Forms. So click on New. If we scroll down and get More, you'll see Google Forms here. If we click on this, this is going to bring up the generic form for Google. It has a couple things we want to look at. First, the settings you look up at the top. There's two things I always check. I definitely check the first two boxes. This allows us it restricts nobody outside the school system can actually view the form, and when one of your students logs in, that means that they because they're logged into the system, then it's going to record their email, and that way I'll know who it was. That they don't have to sign up their name or any of that personal information will already be recorded. I also check this depending on the type of assessment it's going to be. This one allows them to just be able to respond one time. And so if it's a quiz or something like that, I don't want students kind of going back and keep doing and keep doing. I'll check this box, and it only allows them to do it one time. When they go back to try to do it again, it'll say, I'm sorry, you've already done this, you can't do it again. If it's an actual assessment that I'm going to be giving out in class for a grade, a lot of the time I'll click Shuffle Question Order. That way it's potential to get each student their own specific assessment, so they would be able to wouldn't be a whole lot of ways of looking at somebody's paper or screen or whatever and saying what they're putting down. Okay, on to the actual form, and what you see here is the basic question template. You've got the title. This is the actual form title, and so you could type in title, or maybe it's a quiz, whatever you want to call it, and then you can have a little description here. Maybe it's over pre-cal chapter 1.2 quiz or something like that. And so you've got the options here. We can type in the question. This is it's a linear box. It doesn't kind of open up when you type in lots of things, but if you type, you can continue to type, and you could type a paragraph here if you really wanted to. The downside is that you're only going to see it line by line, and that's something Google should really fix, but they haven't yet. You can type that in. If you need any additional help text, maybe something that they're not really going to be sure about what to do, you can type it in there. On the other side here you have edit. We're currently in the edit mode. If I wanted to duplicate the question and ask something else, maybe you typed in a paragraph and then you don't have to retype that or copy paste, you can duplicate the question and then change it as you see fit. Sometimes you look at it and you're like, that question was bad, I want to just kind of get rid of it. I can trash it, and I just hit the delete button there. Here you have the question type, several options. You have just a simple, like a text answer. Maybe you want to give them some space so that they can write their response to maybe a free response type of question, multiple choice, check boxes, and you guys can see the different options there. We're going to stick with multiple choice for now. And you can choose course answers here. A lot of times in math class, some of the questions are always really ugly and complicated, and I really don't want to have to type them out, but I've got them printed, or I found copies maybe in my book or in a workbook or something like that, and I really would like to put that in here. Well, you can take a picture of just the particular question you're looking at, and you can bring that into the form, and you can see that here. And you saw one of those in the workshop we had, where I brought in a question from a quiz that I had. And the question itself was already written, already had set up, it had already all the answers choices. So really, I said I believe it was just refer to the previous question or image. So it was like use the above image. So it's something similar to this one, where they just look at the picture, and the picture already has the choices, and then you just simply select A, B, C, or D. All right. This question, or this checkbox here, is quite important. If you check these boxes, if you want a student to answer those questions, if you put that down, then they won't be able to submit their quiz or their form until they've answered every question specifically. So you click Done, and then you get to see the actual question, what it looks like. If I wanted to insert an image, so let's say I wanted to put that image in, so we can click down on the down arrow key, and if I hit add item without doing anything, it brings up exactly the same type of question I had before. So say like this. So it just kind of assumes you want the same type of question. If you don't like that, you can go here and change it. Let's say I want to insert the image. So I can go to image. It's going to ask me a couple things. I can just drag and drop if I have that on it. If I want to take a snapshot, my laptop has a camera. I could hold the image up and just take a snapshot of it. I actually have several in my Google Drive. And so we'll go to the one I used in the assessment. So we click here. Actually just took this picture with my phone. I cropped it using the tools on my phone, and then I just emailed it to myself, and I saved it in my Google Drive. And so once you do that, it'll find the image and it'll put it here. And you can type in something here. So we have sum and difference identities here. And I could, of course, type in anything I wanted to, and I'll click done. And now since I have an image, I actually really would like the image to be above that. I can click on the image. The dots up at the top, I can click the dots, and I can drag this up above the question if I can get it up there. Let me go back here. I'll drag it above it. I think I can get it up there. Or not. Let's drag the question below it. There we go. Or not. Come on now. Seriously? You can't do it? There we go. So drag it up top, and now you can see here. And if I click done, it kind of shows you what it would look like here. So here's your sum of differences in any topic. Here's the question, and they simply have an ABCD choice answer to put from. Here again, we can answer all kinds of questions. I'm not going to go through all the choices. That's kind of, you can do that on your own. You can do section headers, page breaks. Section headers, like, oh, I want to do a different section. Now this is going to be the free response question, or the questions, and you can have that here, and then you can look at it from there. And I can continue this process, and I can keep going. You have a couple options at the bottom. You can pick this. That's kind of a personal preference type of scenario. But we can come up here, change themes. Some of you are, if you don't like, this is what it looks like currently. This is the default form, just very basic, very plain Jane type of quiz, right, or default theme. You have several options over here to the side. You can scroll through all these. They're kind of, I guess you would call traditional. Some look fine, some look a little bit cheesy, but you'll just kind of pick whatever you think looks the best. And I tend to stay with the same form the whole time, and so it's kind of just a personal preference. I like that one a good bit. And so you can look at that, and then of course go back to edit your questions up top. Now when you get done with it, you want to make sure that it's really good, just like you like it. Make sure it looks like it's supposed to. You can click on view live form. So this takes you to the actual web page that will be hosting your quiz or your assessment or your form, whatever you want to call it. And it says up at the top, your username, Kent Wigington or whatever, will be recorded when you submit this form. If it's not you, then sign out. And sometimes if students are using multiple devices, or the multiple students are using the same device, it's very important that their name is written there. Otherwise, they can take that quiz for someone else in a separate class. So make sure that you have your students check those out. And so when you come down here, you can see the image and you can see the questions. They can always have a copy of the responses sent to them. And then they can submit that. Once they submit their answers, then, so let's just choose, let's say the answer is B, and let's click submit. It'll say, yes, thank you, your quiz has been recorded. If we go back, what you'll see now is up here at the top where it says responses, you can click accepting responses. And it's saying this currently open. You can close that if you wanted to. We want to view those responses, so it automatically creates a spreadsheet using Google Sheets, and it records the date and time that the person submitted their response. It records the email address and all the answers to all the questions that you had done. And so using that is real simple. It's real easy. And one thing that we talk about in class, I'm just going to kind of walk you through how it's graded. Now, add-ons is something inside of Sheets that I'm using. There's a couple things, and I've got some things that have been added. Now, you may not have these, so we'll go to Get Add-Ons. What this is this opens up these are kind of like mini apps inside of these applications that will do a lot of different things, and you can kind of spend your own time kind of walking through this and seeing if anything there is relevant. For example, there's one called Flubaroo, which I have, and it's a great app. It's super time saving. So, for example, if I go down to Flubaroo, enable Flubaroo in this worksheet, it says yes, okay. What Flubaroo does, or Flubaroo, however you pronounce it, it's going to grade my forms for me, and I can have any number of forms. A lot of times I'll give all of my classes one form, and then it's graded it in just a few minutes. And so once it's turned on, you go up to Flubaroo and it says grade assignment, and click it. It says there's not enough submissions, and you guys got to see this in class, but at that point I would select my key, and of course I only have one, so it can't grade just one form. And so it chooses the key, and then you click yes, grade it, and your responses are graded, and it tells you exactly what percentage missed this, what percentage got it right. It shows you, I believe if it's more than 50% missed it, I believe it highlights that item. And that's essentially what you can do with Google Forms by using them to give out easy online assessments, as well as have Google Sheets grade them using Flubaroo. If you have any questions, please feel free to email me or come by and just ask questions. Thanks.